Hi, today we are starting with linear algebra, and it's a very important topic, and it serves as one of the foundation for artificial intelligence and machine learning. So what linear algebra is? Linear algebra is a branch of mathematics that deals with vectors, vector spaces, matrices, and linear transformations. So we are going to learn many terms such as eigenvalues, eigenvectors, matrices, dot product of matrices, transpose of matrix, inverse of matrix, and vector spaces, all these things, and a lot of transformations that we do in matrices. So what algebra is? Arithmetic that includes non-numerical entities like x. So if we have equation 2x plus 5 equals to 25, you would have studied it in your 10th class. And how do we solve it? We simply subtract 5 from both the sides, and then we divide by 2, and then we get x equals to 10. And we plug in the numbers in the first equation and we get left hand side equals to right hand side. Quite simple, right? So let's do one problem and we'll try to see how we can solve these linear equations. And here we are first going to solve it using a graph, and after that we'll solve it algebraically, and then yes, we'll do represent this graph in Python code. So the problem is that Wasim is catching a bank robber, and Wasim car is running at a speed of 180 km per hour, and bank robber has a car which is running at 150 km per hour, and there is a 5-minute head start that bank robber has taken. How long does it take Wasim to catch the robber? That is the first thing we have to check. Second, we need to calculate what is the distance till they have traveled at that point, that is Wasim caught the robber, that distance. And we are, for simplicity, we are ignoring acceleration, traffic, etc. So if we plot this in a graph, we see, so Wasim is traveling at a speed of 180 km per hour, that is slope 2.6, and there's a head start given to bank robber, and it's going with the slope of 3, and Wasim is a slope of 2.6, and then Wasim is able to catch hold of this bank robber at one point. And let's see what is this time, and that we'll be doing in Python, but let's see how we can do through different method other than graph here. So we can solve it using through algebra, and if we see the equation is d equals to 2.5t, if you see here, right, d equals to 2.5t, that is 2.5 kilometer per minute, 150 kilometer per hour. And another distance, because both are meeting at one point, as in the distance is the same at the point where Wasim is catching the bank robber, and that is d equals to 3 into t minus 5, and we equate these two equations, and then we plug the numbers, and we see that the distance at which Wasim catches this robber is 75 kilometer. So it can also happen, so that was one of the possibility, but it can also happen, say one situation is that when Wasim's car is same speed as bank robber. So you are seeing this first graph, that is like both the both the lines are parallel to each other, as both the speed is same for both. And in this case, because it is not touching, then there is no solution here. And whereas say it's not intersecting, so there's no solution. And what if they have same speed, and but the starting time is also the same? In that case, it's an infinite solution. It can have multiple solutions. It's infinite. So we see in linear algebra, and this is a very important point here, these are the only three options in linear algebra. That is one solution which we saw earlier, that is like 75 kilometer distance that we saw, where the Wasim is catching the bank robber. And second is there is no solution. That is when there is a head start, as the bank robber starts take the head start of 5 minutes. And but because both are at same speed, they don't catch each other, as in they don't, these two lines are not intersecting, and we call it as no solution. And the third one is they have the same speed and they have the same starting time, so there are infinite solutions, as one line, like you see in the graph, is over other line. So one point here to note is that it is impossible for lines to cross multiple times, and that's why I said like there are only these three options. It is not possible for two lines to intersect at multiple times. We can also do this calculation in Python. For that, we have to first import some libraries, that is NumPy and Matplotlib. And I have used this function called linspace. So np.linspace, here input is 0, 40, 1000. So what is this? So this is start. So start from 0 and finish till 40, and 1000 is here. 1000 here is means that you divide 0 to 40 into 1000 equal points. And distance traveled by robber, here are these two equations, and the same is used here. So distance 2.5 into t, and here the distance 3 into t minus 5. And then to plot this, so it has this axis, and the plot title, a bank robber caught, and this is time in minutes, my x label, my y label, and yeah, so the limit is 0 to 40 because I already know the answer, we have already calculated, so I kept it around 0 to 40. But you can always try and increase this or decrease as per whatever you feel is correct. And y limit is here, like you said, you can see is 0 to 100. Colored them in different color, green and brown. So brown is the line of the robber, and green one is of Wasim, who is catching the robber. And then yeah, so that is a color, that is a purple color, wherein which is a cross, wherein these two lines are intersecting. And yeah, so and you can see that here also that the distance is 75, and at what point the robber get caught is at 30 minutes. So coming to importance in AI and ML of linear algebra, it is foundational for several reasons. First, the representation of data, how you represent data points, matrices, and input features. And we'll talk about these input features, and I'll give some examples for regression and how to create matrices and how to solve it through linear algebra. And linear transformation, which is go to neural network layers, and there's a lot of optimization is done using gradient descent, and dimensionality reduction like principal component analysis is done to simplify data rather than reduce features, and probabilistic models for high dimensional probability calculations. And yeah, so that's the importance of linear algebra in AI and ML. Some applications where linear algebra is used in AI and ML. First is computer vision. So for image transformation and feature extraction, we use linear algebra. In NLP, text representations, recommendation system, where we do metric factorization and collaborative filtering. These are the two ways of doing recommendation system. Robotics, that is path planning and object recognition, and then optimization, that is least square regression for model fitting. So we see that linear algebra is indispensable in AI and ML as it structures, transforms, and manipulates data efficiently, enabling core algorithms.